Hi and welcome to a new video on my channel. In this tutorial I want to show you how to make short rows in the return pass. So instead of finishing the row, you make a short row and then you pick up new loops to finish the initial row. In this tutorial I will show you 3 methods of ending the short row, or actually of picking up loops in the row after the short row, because this will influence what the end of the short row looks like. There are of course more methods of doing this, but these are 3 that I've selected to show you, and you will find some more from other Tunisian crochet creators. In a previous video I showed you how to make short rows on the forward pass, and now I will show you how to make short rows in the return pass. And in a future video I will show you how to make short rows in the middle of a row so that you can create shaping in garments and make them fit more comfortably. In this tutorial I will use one single color of yarn, this green wool. So just like for the previous tutorial, I will make a foundation of 15 Tunisian simple stitches and 1 last stitch, and then we can start. I am also going to use this wooden Tunisian crochet hook. This is an 8mm hook. We begin with a slip knot on the hook and chain 16. And if you don't know how to make a foundation row in Tunisian crochet, I have a video that shows this in detail, so go ahead and check that out before you start watching this tutorial. We pick up loops in the back bumps of the chains. At the end of the row, we chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. Now we will begin the first short row, and when making return pass short rows, you will keep the loops from the beginning of the row on the hook, and you will only bind them off when you have the next full row. So we pick up stitches all the way to the last stitch. These are simple stitches, but you can pick up other types of stitches as well. And at the end of the row, insert the hook behind the 2 vertical bars, draw up a loop, and chain 1. Now we will begin the short row return pass. For the previous video, I made 9 stitches for each short row, so I will do the same here. So we yarn over, pull through 2, 9 times. Now we need to yarn over, pull through 2 one more time, because this stitch will not be considered a stitch in the next row, because we have to pick up 9 stitches now. So we need to have the 9 stitches from the previous row. So this last stitch that we made here, we will count this one as the equivalent. If you want to, you can put a stitch marker here, just to remind you which stitch will be the last stitch. So this is the most basic short row, and then you pick up 1 loop in the next stitch here and continue like this for 9 simple stitches in total. Last stitch, chain 1, yarn over, pull through all of them to the beginning of the row. Now we make 1 more regular row so that I show you what you do when you encounter the last stitch on that row. Well, it's the first stitch. So we reached this point. In other methods, we will do some things here, but in this method, all we do is pick up a loop in the stitch. And we continue picking up loops to the end of the row. At the end of the row, we chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. And that's your short row finished. I can remove this because it's really not necessary, just to point out which stitch it was. So if you look at the fabric like this, you don't see a lot. But if you pull it out a little bit, you will see that there is a big hole here, and it's very easy for me to poke my finger through there. Not the same for all the other stitches. So this is not a method that I recommend. The next method I came up with when experimenting with short rows, and I will show you now. We pick up all the loops again. We have the last stitch, chain 1. Now we yarn over, pull through 2, 8 times. Now instead of yarning over and pulling through 2, I will yarn over and pull through 3. This makes this stitch here act more like a filler stitch, let's call it. So the next stitch we pick up here. Not in the first stitch here, but in the second of the stitches that we got together. And then we have 8 more simple stitches. Last stitch, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. Now we make one more row. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. If you look at the fabric now, it doesn't really have that big hole anymore, but it still has a hole. If you try hard enough, you can still find the space here to insert your finger. And if you make some kind of garment from thinner yarn, for example, you might still get some holes here. So I will show you the third method, which is inspired by Natalie from Detroit Knots. She told me she works in the row below, but I have no idea how, so I figured out a way and it looks okay. In the 2-color swatch, you can see that the first method has a nice stitch here on its own at the end, and the second method as well. In the first method, the hole is right next to the last stitch on that short row. And in the second method that I showed you, the hole is 1 stitch to the side. And in the next method, there is no hole, or it's quite a small one. So as before, we pick up all the stitches. At the end of the row, we chain 1 and then yarn over, pull through 2, 9 times. Then we have an extra yarn over, pull through 2, because we need the 9 simple stitches here in the short row. And we pick up the 9 simple stitches. As you can see, the stitch count is the same. And then 1 last stitch. Chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. And what we do on the next row is we pick up stitches until we reach the gap. The gap is pretty obvious. So this is where the short row ends. And instead of picking up a stitch here, we pick it up in the row below. So right where the short row ends, we pick up a loop here. So we ignore this one here. And then continue with the simple stitches until the end of the row. We have a last stitch, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. Now there's no more gap to poke your finger through. I can make one more row of simple stitches to show you. And this is what the short row looks like. You can't even see where it ends. Here you can see it because of the holes in the fabric. So while filming this, I decided that I should show you one more method that is used by both Rachel Only and Abby Made. So you should know this method, especially if you use their patterns, they probably use this. So as before, we pick up stitches until the end of the row. We do the last stitch, chain 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2 9 times. Once more, because we will have this edge stitch here. And now we pick up the stitches for the regular row here. Nine simple stitches, last stitch, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 9 times. And now we've reached the end of the short row, and we take the hook out from the working loop and we insert it into the stitch where we picked up this last loop. So we have a doubled stitch here, or a crossed stitch. Put the working loop back on the hook, yarn over, pull through this crossed stitch, and then yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row. And we will see the difference in the next row. So we pick up loops until we reach the crossed stitch. We pick up one loop through this crossed stitch. And then we pick up loops as usual for the rest of the row. Last stitch, chain 1, yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. And now we can look at this fabric. It doesn't have any holes, but there is this extra tiny stitch here from the crossing of the 2 stitches. So honestly, I prefer this method more. Let me know in the comments which method you would prefer for adding short rows at the end of the row, or return pass short rows, and which method you would like to use for middle of the row short rows. In the next video I will show you how to make those, and I will give you a plain simple tutorial with stitches, and I will teach you how to count the stitches so that you can make short rows for adding them to sweaters, so that you have some more space for the bust. So if you want to know when I publish more videos or patterns or testing calls, make sure you subscribe to my email updates, where I send out all the information every week on Friday. And as an email subscriber, you also get access to the guide for customizing the fit of crochet and knit garments, and short rows are one of the methods recommended for customizing the fit. So sign up to my emails and get your copy today if you make garments. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you soon with another one. Bye!